Alabama State, Mercer, Lamar, Chattanooga, Austin Peay, High Point, Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech, Mississippi State, Cleveland State, Florida, Tulane, Eastern Kentucky. And those are just what I thought about this morning off the top of my head. So, I mean, you're talking about guys that have played at high levels, played for Tubby Smith, played for big-time coaches, Mike White, played for those kind of guys. And coming down to this level, like TJ said, for whatever reason, they don't stick, they don't play as much as they want, they don't, whatever. They just end up at this level. So it's a really high level of basketball, really, really good coaches.
Hi, I'm Corey Baldwin.
And I'm Dan Searle, and it's time for another Off the Beaten Path podcast. This is a show for basketball coaches and people who like basketball coaches who are living in obscurity, working in obscurity, and even those who have made it out of obscurity.
It's a place for storytelling, and we even have some of those stories that are true. Learning, connecting, reconnecting, food for thought, and my favorite part, Searle's favorite part, food for the belly. And today we're excited. We got two great upcoming guys that have done unbelievable work at a couple of stops, and they're not only going to tell us about that, but they're also going to talk about life in NAIA basketball. And we have TJ Rines, who is the head coach at Thomas University in Thomasville, Georgia. And we have Drew Wilson, who's the assistant coach at Faulkner University over in Alabama. So let's get it started here. We'll start with you, TJ. Kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to Thomas U, where you started, and how you got there.
Yes, sir. How's everybody? Appreciate you having me on, you guys. But obviously, I'm TJ Rines. Played at Effingham County High School with some great players under Donnie Arrington, who actually helped coaches with Coach Baldwin. Then had Coach Ty that worked for Coach Baldwin recruit me down in Waycross, Georgia, for Waycross College at the time being outside Georgia State. Redshirted my first year there, played my second year, was on track to graduate, so I left, was recruited by Coach Cox. He was the head coach at Thomas University at the time. I was able to play 3 years there. 1 year under Coach Cox, 2 years under Coach Cruz. After Coach Cox left to go to Kennesaw, played 2 years under Coach Cruz. And after graduating, I was talking with Coach Cruz on whatnot and what I wanted to do. And obviously, I want to stay around the game. I just didn't know whether if I wanted to pursue a career overseas or get into the coaching life, and just weighing my options. The best thing for me personally was to get into coaching. So Coach Cruz gave me a chance. I was a graduate assistant for 2 years under Coach Cruz. Then last year, was working with Coach Newton at Ronhart University, who also was
I got to stop
under.
You, CJ. We're going to change the name of this podcast, Off the Beaten Path. It's really all paths lead to Corey Baldwin and to this podcast. We're talking Ty Anderson, Justin Newton, Arrington, everybody.
Yes,
right
sir.
here.
Ty Anderson.
Ty, everything.
Stop. So you up at Reinhardt. Sorry to interrupt you, man, but I mean, the paths are so interconnected. That's what it's all about.
Sir. Yes, sir, for sure. And that's one thing Coach Baldwin always taught me, and Coach Cruz also. You meet some unbelievable coaches, but just great people, great human beings. And we always say as a family, so we try to keep it, connected. But I was under Coach Newton last year at Ronhart University. And Coach Cruz brought me back as an assistant for the JV team. That was the first year at the JV team, and then obviously Coach Cruz was in the running for an assistant spot at Arkansas State. And I was just
blessed. What were you back like 3 weeks? You back like 3 weeks, weren't you?
Yeah, I was back
I didn't even realize you was back. So. I didn't even realize you were back at Thomas and you were the head coach. Boom.
Yeah, Coach Pierce. With everything going on, Coach Pierce and Dr. Bowman. They wanted to keep it in the house, and I was just blessed and fortunate enough to be in this position and give him the job. So basically, a quick version of my story. So I'm just blessed and honored to be here.
Congrats and good luck. I love it.
All right, tell us yours, Drew.
I was a player. I played in Metro Atlanta, South Metro Atlanta. I played high school basketball. Could have played a few small college places, D3 type stops or recruit, messing with me a little bit. And I chose to. My dad was a high school coach my whole life, and I had zero desire to be a coach, none whatsoever. I had no patience for teaching in the classroom and what he did, and saw what he did firsthand. Didn't think I had that in me. So not going to coach, not going to do that, not going to play, definitely not making the NBA. No sense in messing with all this play. I'm going to go to Mercer University in Macon, Georgia. I'll just go there. I wasn't ready to just completely walk away from basketball. So I'll work with the team there, help out, do some student assistant type things. And so I get there and I worked actually Bob Hoffman's very first year, taking over the program when I got there, and just fell in love with the college game and what that was about and what he was about. Because we kind of built that thing. It was. I mean, Mercer basketball now is a lot better, and it's better because of what he did. And I kind of got a chance to be on the ground floor and watch him kind of build that and build it through relationships with people and winning and doing it the right way, taking care of his guys and the right way, but just taking care of people and those kind of things, and just kind of fell in love with that idea. So I finished there.
You fell in love with what idea? Expand on that a little bit.
Just the college game and the kind of deeper. I played in high school and had a great relationship with my high school coaches, but just the deeper level of relationship and impact I feel like you can have at the college level when guys are like, you go off to college, you start to kind of become who you are, and to be able to have an impact on what guys are going to be, probably at a little bit deeper level than maybe you're able to do at the high school level.
Interesting.
Just kind of fell in love with that and the college game, and so I finished up at Mercer, and was fortunate enough, graduated a little bit early, and was able to do a semester-ish of graduate assistant type work in the office every day, helping with film breakdown, helping with all that stuff, for about a semester, but basically the bulk of the second half of the year. And so I got done, and they were wanting me to stay on, but private schools, that don't know how much scholarship money we're going to have, didn't want to take on a lot more debt. So I was able to get on at Sneed State Community College in Boaz, Alabama. My first job, I made $2,000 a year. That was what the assistant coaching job at Sneed State pays, $2,000 for the year. Only way I was able to make it work, I had an aunt and uncle. My dad's family is actually from Albertville, Alabama, which is right next to Boaz, and little bitty towns are in Alabama. So one town over is like 10 minutes. So it was an easy commute. I lived nicer than any guy making $2,000 has ever lived ever, because I was in my uncle's house, who'd been in town forever. And so I was able to do that and got a lot of experience there. Was able to recruit.
Drew, why did you do that? I'm going to kind of cut you off as we go through it a little bit here, but why did you take a $2,000 job in basketball that coming out of high school, you didn't even want a part of that lifestyle? What did change in your brain there, man?
Well, I think Coach Hoffman being the person that he was, and the impact that he was, I wanted to be able to do that for some other people. And as you're talking to, not only Coach Hoffman, but to Doug Eslick, who was assistant at the time, Spencer Wright was assistant at the time, Jake Knelt, those guys were kind of helping you along. They said, listen, if you can make that work, that job's worth more. The ink on your resume for that job is worth way more than you could ever get money wise. So if you can make that work and you can live with an aunt, you need to make it happen. And so
I think it was $4,000 as an assistant at Clayton State. I only took the job because I got to work with Corey.
That was worth priceless.
Exactly. Yes. So
We
much
learned a
more.
lot of things not to do.
So sorry, Drew. From Boaz, what's the next step?
Yeah. So from Boaz, you go there for 2 years and had a pretty good year. We had some good players and had a fun time and learning, but you kind of get to the point where you need to, make a little bit of money at least. I had to sell newspaper advertising during the day and coach at night, and so I got involved here at Faulkner University, and it's fun. Funny story here. So Jim Sanderson hires me here. I'm here for like a week. I'll never forget it. The cable guy was at my house, and Coach Sanderson's calling me like, Coach Jim Sanderson's calling me like, we gotta have this meeting with the VP. Like, I can't get this cable guy out of my house to go have this meeting. Well, we go have this meeting, and Coach Sanderson has some issue. He's got to take a step away for a little while, and so he winds up in the next week or so. He retires. He hired me. I'm 22 years old. I moved across the country, or 24 years old. I moved across the state, and he's retiring. And I got no idea. And one day in comes Scott Sanderson, who been the head coach at Lipscomb, who I knew of from, we were in the same league. Mercer and Lipscomb were in the same league, and we had played against each other. And he comes bopping in to check on his older brother. He's seen about his older brother. By the end of that day, he's the head coach. He's the interim head coach for the year at Faulkner, and I'm his assistant, and he's been stuck with me ever since. So.
Sounds like a good connection, though. So how long is that? Give us the years again.
How long here? This is year. So we're in the middle of year 7 right now.
Middle of year 7. After at the end of week 1, head coach.
Head coach out. Yeah. So it worked out well, but there's a lot of guys that have a lot worse stories when something like that happens. So I was definitely fortunate there.
Well, let's ask both of you guys, being in, both of you have moved around a little bit in different towns, but both of you are now at private schools in NAIA. And NAIA is not all private schools, but seems to be majority. How is life different? We'll start with you, TJ, in the private school sector.
Was being private, and also being small. And I think Coach Baldwin can attest to this also. Similar to JUCO, everything, falls on you, you know what I mean? As far as, some days you might have to, sweep your floors, or some days you just have to get your hands dirty, a little bit more with the private schools. That's basically how I've been, with the schools that I've been to, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty or doing the little things. I mean, because no job, especially, in this field, no job is too big or too small for you to do, and it keeps you humble, So, I mean, that's basically it for me.
How about you, Drew? I know your school's a little different. You guys, Jim Sanderson may not have been at the D1 like his brother, but he has won a national championship. And many people can say that. He might be the only one in his family, no matter how famous that family is. But tell us a little bit about your private school. May be a little different. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're very, very blessed, very fortunate here. We've got, great town, great facilities. Like anywhere, we are like a little bit understaffed. We do a lot of stuff with our we have a lot of student workers that are doing things and that kind of stuff. I think the biggest thing here is a school like ours, with a mission like ours, and with the Christian, faith at the forefront of it. You recruit a different. There's some guys in our league at other schools in our league that they wouldn't survive with. There's some different rules here and different things like that you have to, adhere to that a lot of places in our league you just don't have to. But from a resources standpoint and facility standpoint, we're very, very blessed and fortunate here. We've got a lot of nice things that we need that help you win for sure. but I think just the ability to get the right kind of kids is important at a place like this. They have to fit the culture of the school here in order to be successful.
And they also have to fit the culture of the level. And the level is NAIA, which a lot of people discount or don't know about, or just that it's not on the radar. TJ, start with you. If you tell us what is NAIA and why does it matter? Why is it a great place to be as a coach, to be as a player?
For me, even when I was at, in JUCO under Coach Baldwin, Coach Costa in there said, yeah, we're NAIA. What is that? And I just didn't know anything of it. But my first year playing into it or coming into it, you have some guys that can play, a lot of JUCO transfers, a lot of D1 transfers that for whatever reason, not because they can't play at that level, but, just not the right fit. So, they transfer down to NAI and, they have successful careers. But NAI, I think it's some guys that maybe didn't find the right fit, early on and, coming down, or some guys like me, maybe, just not highly recruited, in that way for a D2 or, even from a D3 standpoint. I think it's just based on, what is needed at that point. But I think it's obviously from a coaching standpoint, in the Sun Conference, a lot of great coaches that thrive at this level, has been in the game for years, and just going against them every night, just the knowledge and the plays and obviously the players. It's a great experience being at this level.
Mm-hmm. And Drew, talk about the players and the level of play. It's easy for people who don't know to think NAIA is bottom of the barrel. It's D1, D2, even D3, junior college, NAIA, somewhere off the screen. Is that the reality or not so much?
I wouldn't say so. The biggest question we always got is when you're going in, like TJ, is it D1? Is it D1?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Well, before this year, I used to say, yeah, it's D1 NAI, but no, it's not. I wouldn't say that. I was just thinking. I just wrote these down. I'm gonna run these off to you, and these are places that players that we've played against or had here, and where they played before they got to this level. Alabama State, Mercer, Lamar, Chattanooga, Austin Peay, High Point, Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech, Mississippi State, Cleveland State, Florida, Tulane, Eastern Kentucky. And those are just what I thought about this morning off the top of my head. So, I mean, you're talking about guys that have played at high levels, played for Tubby Smith, played for big-time coaches, Mike White, played for those kind of guys, and coming down to this level, like TJ said, for whatever reason. They don't stick. They don't play as much as they want. They don't, whatever. They just end up at this level. So it's a really high level of basketball. Really, really good coaches at this level, and just a great experience. And I've always said, like, this, my fit, when you get past Division I, it's almost a school by school basis. It's almost level, and then some play there's really, really good NAIA programs that have all kind of resources to do everything they can for their student athletes, and then there's really, really bad ones. There's really, really good D2s. There's really, really not good situations. It's kind of, I've always thought it's a school by school and a league by league kind of deal past the Division I level.
That's a good point there. Good way to look at it. And it really depends on the resources each school has, or their commitment to whatever sport it might be, if they're putting in the money to basketball. Mm-hmm.
And I think that segues into another question. You mentioned a lot of players coming from places, but I think a lot of times people don't realize how many good resources, good facilities are at some of the lower levels, and good coaches. So my question is, can you guys, I know TJ, you've been an assistant a little longer than head coach, so you can do it from either way, and even as a player, what are some of the best facilities you guys have played at, arena wise, and who are some of the best coaches that you see out there? And you don't have to give us the worst ones. We're not going to ask that, but we'll stay with the positive end. because there's so many good coaches all levels. I know a lot of times JUCO guys get overlooked. Guys I coach against all the time. I think, man, that guy's good, man. So here's a chance for you to kind of give some love to those guys. You start us off this time, Drew. We started with TJ last time.
Oh, I mean, I think you look at a place like Dalton has a Dalton State in Georgia has an unbelievable arena. They play at the convention center there in town, but it's got all their stuff in it. It's a really, really nice place, as nice as any Division One that you'll see. William Carey's got in Mississippi. He's got a great facility. Steve Knight's William Carey's won like 600 games or 700 games. I mean, he's unbelievable. Just coaching, knows what he likes, knows where he's been. Really, really good coach. I think about Mobile and Joe Nyland was there forever. Went to 2 or 3 Final Fours at Mobile and won. Who knows, 500 games.
Hold on one sec, Drew. Just so you know, Searle, that is a Coach Gibbons' assistant. All right, continue.
I know that name, but again, it all
could probably be a guest on here at some point. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, really, really good. Had some really good teams in Mobile. I think there's a lot of guys. Like I said, at this level, you think of the, Pikeville in Kentucky's got they play at an expo center that again is off campus, but it's really, really nice. Have a really nice gym on campus, and Kelly Wells just retired from there. I think he won, I mean, maybe close. I mean, 600 or 700 games as well. I mean, just really, really good coaches all over the country.
As far as me, Kaiser University down in West Palm, is right down there by the beach. But the gym is pretty big. They have students in there. They pack the gym out every time. State of art facilities. Another team I like Coach Drew said, Dalton. Dalton has great facilities. Truett McConnell. They just built, I think, this new gym this past year or whatnot. And it's pretty big. It's kind of has an arena type feel for it there too. So
that's a step up from the olden days of McConnell barn.
Well, my favorite was if you trap in the dead corner closest to the bench, if they tried to throw over their head, they would hit the wall. It was out of bounds. We had a couple of those that caused some problems usually. All right, go ahead, TJ.
Yes, sir. And my first year actually, at Thomas, we played at I guess was it the Dome? I'm not sure what they called it, but playing in there, and then last year because they were in Reinhardt's conference, we went there and you could see the difference of the years and the change that they that university is making just for for the student body. It was pretty cool.
What are the Faulkner facilities like? How good are the gym spaces over there, Drew?
Really nice. Really nice gym. Really nice. We just redid the floor this year. Really nice gym. Really nice weight room for our guys. We're definitely fortunate. TJ's been here several times. I remember I'm getting a little old. TJ played against us. When he was at Thomas. He came here and played against us. We don't lose many games at home, and they had us on the freaking ropes late. They had us on the ropes late in the second half when he was playing. He was freaking quick, boy. TJ was a problem for us.
Hey, sticking with facilities and NAIA, now here's your chance to give your recruiting pitch. Why, as a high school coach, should I recommend to one of my players, you got to check out these NAIA schools? This would be a great spot for you.
Or a JUCO coach or a post-grad coach.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who's got a player who can and wants to play at the next level, should we go NAIA? What do you think, Drew?
Well, I mean, I think it's, like we tell them all, we're just, you need to come see it. I don't think we've had a single person come to campus and leave going, man, that was worse than I expected it to be. We've had everybody that comes is always just, man, that was way better than I anticipated it was going to be. It was way better facilities, way better campus, way better. whatever. It's always just way better. And I think, from our just us here, we're not ones, we're not gonna sit here and try to talk you into coming. We're gonna tell you what we've got, what we can do for you, what we've, the facility. This is what we have. This is who we are. We'd love for you to be a part of it. If you want to be a part of it, then come on. But we're gonna press you every day to be the best version of yourself. So if you don't want that, go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Go somewhere else. So
how about Thomas?
I agree with Coach Drew. Because even as myself, being recruited at Fort Thompson and coming on my visit, I'm driving down with Coach Newton. I'm like, here we go. And NAIA, just not knowing what to expect. And I get there and it's totally changed my view on things. So, from the side of, from basketball, and we're a family, we always tell guys also, you're blessed. You have a chance to play college ball no matter the level. We say we're a family and everything, and what we can do for you, on the court. We also try to help guys off the court as well. Sending guys over internships, asking guys, what's your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, and trying to have those guys not only set on the court, but in a position to set up for life. So, like Coach said, we're going to be on you. Some days that you're not going to like us, but if you want to be the best player you can be, let alone man, brother, father, whatever it is that you're trying to be, then this is the place for you.
I got a question for all three of you along those lines, because, and this is not a dig in any way, you're not D1 coaches, but every player thinks they're going D1, and you've just mouthed it a little bit. But how do you help players understand that these other levels have incredible coaches, facilities, and care about you and dedicate the time to you? That's got to be hard, especially with the players. I'm going to the NBA. Drew was one of the few who, coming out of high school, said he wasn't going to play NBA. But players think that.
I could make a jump shot. I could make a jump shot, but I was little and I was slow, so I had no shot.
But a few little slow guys think they're going and should be playing at a different level. What do the three of you say to some of those potential players right now?
I think my level's the easiest because I can still sell that they can go there from here. Yeah, so I can still mislead them. I can mislead folks and placate the dream. No, but honestly, I mean, that's hard. Most guys that come here, we laugh about this. We'll have guys on our roster, current, former roster, that their only option was here. They didn't get an offer from anywhere else. And maybe they're even told when we're recruiting them, we're going to redshirt them, or they're going to be in the 12 to 15 hole of sub pattern. And they still think, they not only could start here, but they should start at Georgia Tech or Florida. And, that may not be the case. I think it's a fine line, the confidence and the, in their own ability and their willingness to prove everyone wrong will be why they make it, maybe. But it also can be why you don't make it if it's a little delusional.
Right.
So you have to walk the fine line. We try to meet with guys a lot individually and tell them, like, all right, we're not being mean, but right now you've only gotten calls from 2 coaches. Both of them are NAIs. That doesn't mean you're not whatever level, but you are who recruits you. So you need to look at these 2 and here's what NAIA is. Here's what it offers you, yada, yada, yada. Or, other scenario, hey, you're getting recruited, low level Division I. There are no mid majors. There are no high majors. Here's what they offer. Here's what it is. You're going to have to make some choices between here. And you don't need to be mad at the ones you're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
You be happy at the ones you are getting. And we try to preach that a lot. Does it always work? I wouldn't say so, but I do think some guys eventually fall into the understanding of what they are and being proud about it.
I'm taking notes over here, Corey, as I'm coming up with my own little go-tos for the team. Meet with them individually, talk about roles, and talk about reality. I like it. How about for you, TJ? How do you help manage some of those higher expectations that may not be real?
Yes, sir. Like Coach Baldwin said, we try to meet with guys also, and just being as transparent as possible. Like Coach Baldwin said, there's always fine line from that confidence to reality in a sense. But we try to sit with guys knowing their roles, and a lot of guys at this level, they still trying to get pro and go overseas and everything. And we just be realistic with them, not in a sense where we're just just so hard and demeaning on them, but we're like, okay, guys, you want to be pros? Okay, are you making 300 shots a day? Are you training like a pro? Are you eating like a pro? And if you aren't, then 9 times out of 10, it might not happen. I know Deion McClinton, he was a player I played against at Kaiser. He actually was drafted from Kaiser to the G League. But it was a few far between. But at that moment, he was a grinder, he was a worker, and he outworked everybody. So I think the biggest thing is just being transparent with those guys, trying to meet with them, and trying to just correlate where they're at and where they're trying to be and what they have to do in between to get there, or if they are going to get there.
When it comes to the recruiting standpoint, and you talk about managing their expectations and recruiting and things, like I don't really try to do that. As far as like, if you think you want to go D1, then that's your decision you got to make. Like if that's what you want to do, and that's what I don't fault guys for that. A lot of guys at our level or low Division I level, they get upset when a guy chooses to go, to a lower level Division I over their school and want to puff their chest out about this and that. And I'm not one of those. Like I said, I'm going to recruit you. We like you. We've got a lot to offer here. I'm going to show you that. If you want to chase the Division I thing, that's fine. You do that. Like I'm not going to fault you for trying to do what you want to do, trying to chase your dream, kind of deal. And but as you get later into the process, we do have conversations like, listen, if all of a sudden Faulkner is not an option, if we're not an option, you can't come here anymore. We signed somebody else, whatever, we're not an option anymore. Would that bother you if we're not an option? Well, if that would bother you, then you need to think long and hard about chasing that Division I thing, because we're going to keep recruiting. We're going to keep recruiting. We're going to keep, going. And
wants to be here, somebody will fit here, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just again, like he said earlier, it's a major opportunity to get to play college basketball anyway. So, I'm not. There's a lot of guys out there that want to play and can play and will fit. So, again, like I'm not being rude about it or anything like that. Like, if that's what they want to do, then that's what they should do. That's what they should do. Because if I try to talk you into it or force you into it, then you're not going to be happy, and I'm going to spend my whole time being mad at you because you're not happy with the decision you made, and that's not fun for anybody.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think, and the other thing too is you can do. I tell them all the time, with the amount of film that's out there now, maybe 15 years ago, you needed to be a high level guy to get to go pro, to go this and that. I mean, I can watch every game at the college level on Synergy now. And if you're good enough, they're going to find you. We've had 35 guys go from Faulkner and play pro. We had as many as 10 active overseas just during last season. And
you're not talking NBA league only. We're talking pro contracts.
No. Yeah, you're talking about making money playing basketball. Mm-hmm. And so that we had 35 of those guys over the life of Faulkner, and like I said, 10 of them active last year. So I mean, you can do all that. You want to make money playing ball, you can do that from here. You could do that from Thomas, but there's so much film out there now that they're paid to find guys that can help them win. They're going to do that. They're going to do that however they can.
And this guy Drew he's so straightforward though. But where do I sign? I'm coming to Faulkner right now. Let's go. You got me.
Listen, you don't have. We tell our guys all the time, you're not going to have to wonder what we're thinking, because we're just going to tell you. You might not like it, but we're going to tell you.
And I would add one more thing to our conversation. I think with COVID-19 and all the guys getting years back, and the people, it's hard for them to understand it. But some of your question was, how do you convince them that there's good coaches at all levels? I think it's a lot like players. There's more good players than there are spots. Well, there's even less spots for coaching. So, there's good coaches everywhere. in every league. You know, there might be some bad ones too, but there's good ones because it's just there's not enough. I mean, I think at one time, I may be a little off, but at one time there was only like 1,200 schools that gave basketball scholarships. So that means there's 1,200, you know, coaches that coach somewhere where they give scholarships in college for basketball. I mean, it's not that many. You know, I don't know the number of brain surgeons out there in the world, but I would say it's probably about the same number. And, you know, even though we're not doing brain surgery, although we feel like it at times.
No, nobody in this room. I'm not letting any of y'all operate on my brain.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
promise you that.
Think about the number, how low it is, and then you know, telling that to a player. I think sometimes they get amazed, you know, at how coaches all know each other. Well, that's why they do. There's not that many.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And speaking of good coaches, and picking schools, TJ, what was it that in the time coming from South Georgia State, you got to choose your college? Was it the weight room at Thomas? Was it Coach Stephen Cox? What was the big draw there at Thomas?
Diesel truck.
Coach Cox, you know, he told me straightforward, you know, how things were going to be, you know, how things were, and I respected his transparency. And not only with him, you know, like you said before, the weight room is one of the best I've seen, if you know, not the best in the conference. The training room, same thing, but the community of Thomasville, you know, has that family atmosphere, that family vibe, mom and pop stores. Everybody is just genuine. And that's who I am as a person. You know, as a player, I was, you know, wanted to be surrounded by family and how it made me feel. So along with Coach Cox and those, you know, facilities, the city of Thomasville and how involved they are with Thomas University made me commit.
All right, we can't let you off that easy. We need at least one good Stephen Cox story. I coached Cox and have known him a long time, and I could probably give 100, but let's hear a good one. You know, the one I remember when you were there, TJ, you played a big game when y'all won at Pensacola Christian in like overtime or something, and he was texting me the whole way back on the ride. But do you have any good Cox stories?
I have a plethora, actually. I'm trying to see which one is more suitable for the show. You know, as far as
Searle will edit if he needs to. Good.
It's my Stephen Cox story goes back to his 10th grade year at Georgia Tech basketball camp in the summer, playing on the blacktop between the Beamish and the old gym there, and he turned his ankle and kept looking up like, I'm going to keep playing. I'm good. And I kept checking in on him the next day. He's like, leave me alone. I'm good. Leave me alone. So yeah, everybody circles back to the diesel.
Before you tell yours, TJ, my favorite was we had a last second shot in overtime at Kennesaw the year they won the national championship. We lost to them 3 times by a total of 4 points. And one of them was in overtime or double overtime, and we took a 3 at the buzzer to win, and we missed it. And a guy, and their place was packed. He was playing a small little gym, and one of the guys from the stands come out and shoved the guy who missed the 3 right after he missed it, and it was a melee. I mean, it was a brawl, and fans, everything. So we're running out there trying to break it up, and craziest thing, they had 2 assistants on their team fighting each other. That's another story. I mean, there's so many like little fights breaking out. And I remember just looking at everybody getting broke up and punches thrown and kicking and screaming and everything else. And I look over at Coach Cox at the time, Stephen Cox, he was playing, and he picks up this folder that's on the ground and he throws it in the air. And I'm like, what was that about? So we get back to the locker room after all the chaos. And I said, Cox, why'd you throw that folder? And he says, I showed them. That was one of their coaches' folders. They're going to pick up all that paper now. I was like, yeah, you really showed them, buddy.
They'll never know their plays again.
So that was the best. That was my favorite. I always think of that when I think of Steven. So all right. So go ahead with yours, TJ.
I don't know if I have any that funny. That funny. I remember one time, it was my first year, obviously. I it was an intense practice. Both teams were going at it. And a fight breaks out, and how Coach Baldwin does, he said, hey, yeah, go ahead and fight. We'll clean it. It's not gonna last that long anyway. But it was actual fight. And Coach Cox, he was just so stunned. He was just, oh, break it up. But it was after all punches were thrown and everything, and it was just so funny seeing him just stuck. It's plenty of times in practice, man, where how Coach Cox is animated. He said, "No, TJ, you have to sprint." He sprints one time and he trips and he falls and he rolls a couple times. The guys didn't let him. They didn't let him to have for like a week. It's just little things like that, that always plays in my head for him.
They always play in your head, and that's the thing with Stephen Cox is we love him because of those and because of that passion that he's got. So we're
yes, sir, for sure.
Poking a little fun here, but it's all straight out of love. There's no question about it.
Yes, sir.
Drew, as we talk about coaches, coaching influences, you mentioned Hoffman earlier. You're tied in with Sanderson's now. What are a couple coaching, your dad, the high school coach, what are those coaching influences for you over the years? And if there's a specific kind of person, moment, teaching that you can tell us about?
I think like I just kind of said about Hoffman and just kind of the way he went about it and developing, great relationships with his players and trying to win, doing that kind of stuff was a lot. And then, I've been here for 7 years with Scott and Scott Sanderson, and he won a ton of games at Lipscomb prior to coming here, and was really good. Had won the ASUN and regular season and things. But just I think his ability to coach his best player is really, really good, and it allows you. We hold our best players accountable. We've had I think 8 All-American selections in 6 years, but we coach those guys. He coaches those guys hard and sometimes harder than the other guys. And when you have guys that allow that to happen and allow themselves to be coached like that, then everybody else just kind of knows, well, if he'll do that to that guy, then, I gotta get in line because that guy's getting 25 a night and I'm getting 4. Like I better do what I'm supposed to do. And it allows your
player accountable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, above you can't read it, but above our head, above the door right here it says who holds you accountable. Who holds you accountable on our wall, and that's holding those guys' feet to the fire, but also those guys allowing themselves to be coached that way, because a lot of good players puff their chest out and don't want to be coached hard and that kind of stuff. But those guys allowing themselves to be coached hard like that, and they do that because we have a relationship with them. But those guys allowing themselves to be coached like that is what allows you to be really, really good. Like we've been fortunate to be here.
So you watch Hoffman do both of those. First, build the relationship and the connection, and then hold the best players accountable, and that leads to success. I like that. I like that a lot. How about you, TJ? Coaching influences, if there's a person out there and a message that you got from them.
Yes, sir. I think it's just a combination of all the coaches that I either played under or coached with. Same thing Coach Drew said about relationships, family, knowing that players, what they like, what they don't like, just who they are as a person. And I think, Coach Baldwin, I forgot your quote. I'm not sure if you said it or not. You said something about along the lines of, I'm not going to treat everybody the same, but I'm going to treat everybody fair or something like that. I'm not sure if you said it a couple of years ago, but just knowing that person, knowing that player, and then you can go about, how to talk to them, how to coach them. And like Coach Drew said, holding the best player accountable. One thing Coach Cruz always said, he said, nobody's bigger than the game, and just how it is. It's a team sport. If you don't want to play a team sport, then go play tennis, go play golf, go play one of those sports. So, being able to hold everybody accountable, and for those guys to be open, to be coachable. I think that's, everything ties in together. So, relationships, family, and then X's and O's.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, we're going to take it to our favorite part of the show, lightning round. So we're going to ask some questions, answer them as quick as you can, but at the same time, if you got a good story or some name dropping, feel free to do so. I'll start it off. I asked about some of the great facilities in your league, but now I need to know the worst place you've played or coached at. And it doesn't have to be JUCO, NAIA, high school, church league. It can be anything. And give us why it's the worst place you played at, if you don't mind. All right, start us off, TJ. Look like you got one in your head already.
Montreat. Oh, man. In North Carolina. It's like not even an elementary gym. It was one side bleachers, on like 5 bleachers go up. They're letting side goes down with a crank. You have to crank it. The shot clock, last year, the shot clock went out. So they put shot clocks on the floor in the corner with our bench, which is literally right against the wall. So you take, your big toe is inching over the out of bounds line on the sideline. So the shot clocks on the corner went out. So now they have their announcer. When it gets to 10 seconds, he's yelling 10, 9, with a couple leaks in the gym. That's by far even worse than what I've been in JUCO.
All you needed was the little stage with curtains at one.
Yes, that's all you needed. That's all you needed. That was a tough one.
All right, you, Drew.
I was really hoping you didn't ask this question, because you're going to make me call somebody out in our league, which I don't like to do. But I can't answer the question honestly without saying Blue Mountain, in Blue Mountain, Mississippi, and it's tiny. It's this tiny gym, and I think they may be building a new one, but it's a tiny gym. It's got like 3 rows of wooden bleachers on the opposite side of your bench. They've got like 4 rows of chair back, I guess, for the donors on that side. It's tiny, but the worst, the gym is not that, but there's nothing to eat. There's nothing. There's nothing to eat anywhere close. And we travel. We travel with the women, and so we're there. We got to get the women there, and then there's nowhere for us. We got to drive like 30 minutes and we got to eat pregame at like a Pizza Hut, because there's nothing to eat in the town. It's the worst town. It's just. I have a hard time with that one. And the locker room is downstairs, and I swear there's either no heat or they don't turn the heat on when we're there, because it's always freezing in the locker room down there.
Boston Garden of Mississippi. Hey, those kind of stories remind me, and things have changed a little bit, but back when I was coaching the Emory JV team and we played at Middle Georgia, there really was nothing to eat in Cochran, and we'd ended up in the Mercer ranges of Macon finally hours later to eat. Mm-hmm.
We play in Cochran every year too, but Cochran's just a little bit better than Blue Mountain, Mississippi.
It's grown some since your days, sir.
That was a long time back.
We have 4 or 5 places now.
Not just the Hardy.
Yeah. When you were there, just the Hardy. All right. My next one's a food question. What's the best place to eat that's close to Faulkner right there, Drew?
We have a meat and 3 place across the street that we really like. It's called Peyton's Place. It's right across the street from school. There's another really good meat and 3 that I think you took your team to one time, Corey. It's Martha's Place.
I love
a really
Martha's
good one
Place. I definitely want to make a journey back there. Best mac and cheese I've had in a long time.
It's a good spot. It's a little further from school, so we don't go out there as much. But
that's closer to UAM, right?
Yeah, AUM. Yeah.
All right, TJ, what's the best place in Thomasville?
As far as restaurant wise, SAS. It stands for Sweet and Savoring Sisters. It's a Louisiana restaurant, real good. Coach Baldwin, I know you're a big time barbecue guy. We got Fallon's Barbecue down there.
That's good. Is that the one I met Jameson and Ty at, I think?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That place was good. That place was real good.
And then we have Barbaritos.
Oh,
Barbaritos is always good. We go there pregame. Man, the guys love it.
Awesome. What's the place in town that's a real ritzy place? All the, it's a lot of retired people eat there. You have to, I mean, it's pretty high dollar, but I've heard people
Is it
talk about it.
downtown?
I think Ty was like a waiter there at one time.
Jonas Fishing. Jonas is pretty good. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people talk. I've had some people in Waycross tell me you got to go over there and eat Jones's. That's the name of it.
Yes, sir. Jonas. Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's pretty good. I think they hype it up just a little bit, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we joke, Searle. I've had like 6 guys play there, so the quickest way to Thomasville is to come play at Waycross. You'll end up there. That was a joke at one time.
Great line.
All right. I got one last one before Searle gets his in on the lightning round. I know we asked some about coaches that influenced you, that you've been around, but who are some people maybe that you haven't been around in basketball, but maybe through watching them on TV or whatever have influenced your game, or maybe even football or baseball or players or anything, like that maybe influenced you as a coach?
Books, any of that.
Yeah, books, any of that stuff got, like me, I've only shook Dean Smith's hand one time, but I would say, one influenced me some, even though I don't really know him at all. So who would be you guys? I'll just throw that one out there.
I like to study guys like in other sports. Like I like, Nick Saban, and everybody talks about process and all that. All he's really talking about is focusing on getting better every day, focusing on improving regardless of results and those kinds of things. And I like that. I've always liked, the Patriots, Bill Belichick, and they have one sign in their whole facility. All it says is "Do your job." Do your job. So those kind of things. I've always liked studying that. I like reading like John Gordon. Is a really good author. Read a lot of his books.
No Bear Bryant. I mean, you already said Saban. Making sure all the Alabama people like you. Do you want to throw Bear Bryant in before we move on?
No.
Okay. What about you, TJ? You think of any over there?
Tony Dungy. In his books, what he does, and how he gets his guys on the same page. I'm actually in the book club now. We just finished a book called Atomic Habits, and it talks about 1% better every day. Some of the same things. There's a book I'm reading now, Leaders Eat Last, talking about putting others before yourself. And there's a lot of comparisons to military and how they go about different things. And I'm a small time guy, so I'm always looking up to guys that I've been under, like Coach Baldwin, Coach Cruz, Coach Newton, seeing how they maneuver and how successful they've been at the spots they've been at, and taking little nuggets from them here and there, and just applying it to my life, and helping me become a better coach, let alone a better man. So,
Tony Dungy's first book, I still use the no excuses, no explanations, and I think he even made a book that was just about that. But in his first book, he had a chapter, no excuses, no explanations, and I use that a lot. I mean, that's a big thing. I need to go back to saying it more. I used to say, if you're giving me an excuse, I've already stopped listening. I already quit listening.
That's why I started laughing.
And you said something else, and I didn't even hear it because I already stopped listening. And that was a big thing he did. I kind of stole that from him.
Yes, sir.
But that's cool you said that. He's a good one.
And 2 good books, 2 good recommendations right there, TJ. But that leads right into my quick question here. No excuses, no explanations. What are your go-to expressions? We've got your improve daily and your who's holding you accountable on your wall behind you, Drew. What's your go-to, both personally or for the team?
We do a lot of that. Like, don't give me, just find a way. Don't give me an excuse, just find a way. We do a lot of that. But I mean, I wouldn't say I really have a one thing that we talk about a lot. We, like I said, we talk about just focus on getting a little better every day, getting a little better. Just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Win, lose, whatever. Just keep pressing. Just keep pressing.
Yep. TJ, you mentioned getting that 1% better. You mentioned some nuggets. What's your go-to expression?
It's kind of leads to our core values, accountability. Holding guys accountable, and I I have, my assistants holding me accountable. And there's sometimes where I tell guys, hey, I was wrong on this play, or I thought, he wasn't midline, and I tell those guys that as well. But just being grateful and thanking God, for everything, both good and bad, because it always can be worse. So just, we're blessed enough to play the sport that we love, and, so just, somebody's wishing that they can be in your spot. So what are you going to do with it?
DJ, and that kind of advice, especially in today's day and age, in the middle of a pandemic, it's easy to forget that we're doing all right. We're playing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you got a mad scramble on the schedule, or you cancel a game, but in the scheme of things, we're playing ball and we're together with that family and that relationship. I like it.
Sir.
I like it. All right.
And I like to keep pressing. I'm a press guy. I like that, Drew. I may have to keep pressing. I think we might use that.
We don't press.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you meant pressing. I'm getting excited.
No.
Well, Corey, you could use that both ways, right? Keep
exactly.
forward and keep pressing.
I like it. Double meaning.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Cyril, give us another lightning round one, Cyril.
Hey, who's the best player that you've either played against on the court or that you've coached against? Give us a name and when he dunked on your brains or hit that buzzer beater or what it might have been, Drew.
Right now today, the kid that played for us last year, Milan, Schoonidrich was really, really good. He's a really good one. I think, one playing for us right now has got a chance to pass him. And TJ Williamson, both guys just really, really good. Really, really good players, really good, really, really good people.
One I had that always sticks out to me is Warren Hall. My senior year, he was a senior also. He graduated from Warner. Just a guy that, didn't say anything. He just found a way to get it done. And you can tell he was a leader. He led by actions. And he definitely could play. He put the ball in the hole, get guys their shots. The crazy thing is you can elbow him, bump him. He won't say anything to you, and he keeps playing. He was tough. He actually put us out the Final Four my senior year.
How about that? All right. There's some good names there. Corey, anybody on your list to toss out there? You've played against or coached against?
Jay Crowder, we coached against in our league. He was real good. Crazy story. He was 5'8" when he graduated high school.
Yeah. And
he grew almost a foot. And that he has grown a full foot since high school, but he almost a foot before his freshman year. And he became he used to be a fat shooter in high school, and he ended up becoming an unbelievable post player his freshman year in JUCO. I would put him up there that I've coached against. He would be one of the better ones, if not the best one I've seen. Had some other good ones, but that'd be the one that sticks out in the Georgia Jukes here in the last 12 years, 15 years, I guess. I'm getting old. 15 years. What about you, sir?
Years are ticking by. Back in the AAU days, you could talk about some names like a Josh Powell or a Kwame Brown with the Georgia Stars. Mm-hmm. That was years ago, and I like to say it. Working some Duke basketball camps, played some pickup with Wojciechowski and Chris Collins, and they actually passed me the ball. I passed it right back though.
Hey, I will give a cool one. I played at the Tech camp one year, and KG and Marbury played.
Wow.
KG he was just finished his rookie year,
mm-hmm.
and they were back playing in the alternate gym, and they were short a guy for the last couple of games, so I jumped in.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was pretty neat, just seeing how fast KG was for a center. He was fastest guy on the court, I thought. But anyway, yeah, that's a pretty cool one to throw out there. All right, Cyril, take us. You got one more lightning round for us, Cyril?
Well, kind of lightning, but also the time to wrap it up. Give these two guys, our guests today, Drew and TJ, a chance to offer up some final thoughts, some shout outs, some people you'd like to recognize. But we appreciate having you on, and the floor is yours. Drew, what do you got for us to closing thought or anybody you want to mention?
I just appreciate you guys having me on. Enjoy any opportunity to talk about, this level of ball that you know, like I told you before, is a lot of people don't know. It's not their fault. They just don't know what they don't know. So any chance to kind of put it out there for a few more people to see is much appreciated.
Yeah, likewise. Appreciate you guys having me on. You know, not being in this game, you know, so long, but you know, still, you know, appreciating the respect and having me on. Honored, you know, just to talk about hoops and, like you said, at this level that, you know, few know about. So pretty much it. Thank you, guys.
Well, you know, Searle, both these guys I've known a long time. I met Drew's one of the harder working guys. I see him at a lot of events and a lot of off the beaten path places recruiting. And then, of course, TJ was a guy that, funny story, we were recruiting one of his teammates and wouldn't say we were recruiting him as hard. And he came to the workout and we started recruiting him just because of how hard he worked and how good he was in the workout, and was an unbelievable teammate the 2 years I coached him. And I knew he was, I don't know if he knew it, but I knew he was going to coach after about 2 weeks of coaching him. I knew he would be a coach someday, whether it was his son's teams or daughter's teams or what, just because of the way he was. He was like a sponge. He absorbed everything, asked questions other guys didn't. And he was an unbelievable on-ball defender, maybe one of the best I've coached. So that always helped with the style we played.
Him so much, yep.
Yeah. So I was a big TJ fan. He was being very modest. You know, he played his high school team. It was one of the better high school teams, probably south of the Nat line during that 4 or 5 year stretch for Georgia. Effingham had, you know, 2 or 3 pros on that team. Jay Wright and what's the other guy's name?
Jakeenan Gant.
Yeah, Jakeenan Gant, who was Mr. Georgia. I forgot the better one, but anyway. And then Jay Wright, you know, who also played in G League the last 2 or 3 years. They were very good players, and you know, TJ started on that team, so that just tells you how good he was. But anyway, enough bragging about those guys. I appreciate them being on, and we'll be pulling for you. Searle, tell us what we need to do to follow us and know more about our show.
You got it. Well, this is a little bit of self-promotion, both on the social media front, but also these stories on Off the Beaten Path. Drew, TJ, thanks for sharing them. I'm glad that we can offer this platform. People don't know enough about NAIA, about the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. So follow us on Instagram, Off Beaten Path Podcast, and also on Twitter, Off Beaten Path with the _. And we just lost Drew, but appreciate you there. Coach Wilson, he's got another meeting and a family to take care of. So that's about it for our NAIA themed episode, right, Corey?
That's it, man. And we're a show for those who want to coach, those who used to coach, those who are coaches, those who follow coaches, those who hire and fire coaches. And we hope when you see this, we don't run you out of trying to coach.
Until next time.